Hi guys, today we're going to be making a wraparound bracelet. I've taken a pair of denim jeans, the hem that were going to be discarded. I cut it right at the hem edge, leaving about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. That way we could fringe the edges by pulling on the strings. I want it to be frilly. I've taken, to start it ahead of time, taken Ric-A-Rac. You can find that at your craft stores. And I've glued it just so it starts to peek over the edge of the hem that I've shredded here, that I've pulled the strings. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is, I measured, well, this is depending on whatever you have. You can make it once around the wrist or twice, but basically, like I said, we cut this, we pulled the strings on the edge, put the Ric-A-Rac. Now I'm going to take this pearls on a string. They're flat backed. Okay, see that? I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it onto the foundation only for demonstration purposes. You can come in if you want and sew this all down by hand to your preference. I'm going to be using my Fabri-Tac glue from Beacon Adhesives. It is fantastic and it's made specifically for fabric. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna start gluing this on and I'll come back and then we'll go on with the next step. Okay guys, so basically what I did was to take my flat pearls and glue them on, and while I did that, you could see that the seam allowance on the sides are bulky. So I've taken the liberty of cutting a piece off the end. I left the one in the middle because we want it to look like a pair of jeans. So now what I did was I took a piece of elastic cording, as you could see here. I took it and I tied it in a double knot around the circumference of the end, about 1 inch away from the edge. Now you can take this and give it a quick stitch with a needle and thread to keep it in place. Alright, and we're going to be sewing this closed on the sides, so that way we're going to be making a loop to attach a button on the opposite side. I've chosen to use this. It's a phone rings bling for your antenna. They don't have phones like this anymore. So basically I'm going to be taking this off and I'm going to be sewing it on as a pretty decorative button to my strap here. So I'm just going to give it a little knot here, catching my elastic cord. All these things you can find in your craft store, or if you probably already have it at home. So this bracelet, wrap bracelet that we're making, this is just my rendition of what I'm doing with random things that I had lying around. So you could go out and get all kinds of things to decorate yours. So just be creative and have fun with it. Make them all unique and different, you, your friends. Okay, so I've sewn this down. I secured that. I'm going to cut that little piece of elastic that's coming out. So what I want to do is I want to fold it over, leaving our loop side on the right at the edge. Since this is very thick, I'm basically just going to tack the sides. Tacking is very simple, just quick little loops like this. You do it around 3 or 4 times if you want, making sure you're getting actual folded denim, not the fringes. Now I would knot it off here and go on to the other side, but so I don't have to rethread my needle right now, I'm just going to go through it. I'm going to come around and I'm going to catch the edges. Like I said before, I'm going to secure that down well. It is a little tough to go through. And just give it a couple knots on the side there. These are fun for teenagers. Pull that nice and tight. Cut that excess thread off. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come to the other side. So I'm not going to go look for my white thread. I'm just going to use black thread that I have here on the needle. I'm going to pull this off. Okay, it's got a little rubbery thing on the end of it for an antenna. I'm going to just take that off. That's going to leave me a loop like the back of a button. Let me do it this way so you can see better. Okay. Now that I'm just gonna sew it to the back. Sew that over here on the end. Just any random way. I think I'll cut one of these pearls off, or 2, just to, let me see, with, well, I think I'll cut 2 off. Remember to use your crafting scissors to cut anything that's not fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew this, and I'll be right back, and then we'll continue. Okay, so I did go get some white thread and rethreaded my needle. So basically I just want to show you how I was doing this. I go through the back, I pull the string through the front of the needle, I go under the heart, come out the other side, and go back under. I've done this already like 3 or 4 times. Okay, and securing it on well, as you can see. Now in the back I'm just going to knot it off. I did want to mention that I did not do anything to the end here because I wanted to fray the same as the rest of the band, because that's what's going to give it more character. Okay. So here I'm looping it any which way, pulling tight, and I'm cutting my strings. Okay, so now what we're going to have is this, where we're going to be able to take the elastic portion, oops, bring it around, and we have this. Okay, now that's just a simple bracelet, but we can bedazzle this even more, make it fun. So well, before I go on, we have these buttons as well. They are denim buttons. They're 2 pieces, as you can see, and what you do is you take this button you would put it, poke this through. It's like a thumbtack. Poke it through the bottom, through your denim, and then you would just snap this over it, and you can have a denim button if you want. If you don't have the rhinestones, that's from your craft stores as well. So for this bracelet, okay, I think I might have made it too big, but I can always just take the button off and bring it down more. But with this bracelet, you can take pretty little dangles for it. You can take it off of the cell phone charm holder. Just open it up right here, and look at all these fun things you could put. I think that's so much fun. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing that, but you can do that if you want to change up the look on yours. What I am going to be doing on mine, just for demonstration purposes, is I'm going to be making a little flower out of ribbon. I have cut random little circles, as you can see there, and I'm going to be sealing the edges with a candle. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen this, or if not, but I have tutorials on how to do this. What you do is you take your fabric and you bring it along the edge of the flame. That seals all the edges, melts them, so your flower won't fray. It'll be nice. I use this pink because everything else I'm using is pink, and it's like it's gonna be our theme. Okay, so you see how quickly this seals the edges. Now I want to cup it. Right now it's kind of flat, so I'm going to hold the candle under the fabric ribbon. As you can see, it starts to shape it. See that? And while it's still warm, you can cup it even more by hand, making it prettier. You gotta be careful because it does get warm. That's looking really nice. Alright, now I'm going to go on and do the other circle. Now these circles originally started 2 inches, and I went reducing it little by little, more and more. No exact circles are made. I made them, as you could see, random meandering edges. Do be careful, it will get hot, and when you do these projects you should have water next to you in case you have a little ignition of the fabric. You could immerse it in water. If you burn yourself, you can keep your hands from getting hurt. Okay, as you can see, I'm holding it under the flame. This is fun, but at the same time you have to be very careful. It can be very dangerous because you are working with fire. So if you're a youngster doing this project, have an adult do this for you. Do not attempt it yourself, because you could burn the place down. Okay, so here's my second petal, and now I'm going to take the next petal. I'm going to continue doing the same process. Pretty easy. Just remember, these edges are extremely hot because you've just melted plastic and it does get hot. Now this one, I'm going to hold it again under, rather say over the flame. I want this to cup on itself, making it look, you can see how it starts to immediately take shape in a cup form. The way you know what's a good product to do this is just take and a lighter and just hold it up to the edge of a fabric and see how it reacts. This one, I took it and tried it, and as you can see, look at the fun I'm having with it. It's just working fabulous. So here we have our 3 petals, small, medium, and large. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to layer them off center, as you can see. And I'm going to create this flower. Let me just turn my candle off, we don't need it anymore. So here we have a pretty flower. This flower, I'm going to set a bead into the center of it. Let me see which ones I have here. I have these random beads here. I'm just going to take a white one. I'm going to take my needle and thread. I'm going to knot it. I'm going to come up through the center of my petals that I just made. It's a little stiff from the heat, which is perfect because it'll keep its shape. I'm going to grab my bead and I'm going to go back down the center again. Okay, you would go 2 or 3 times. I'm just going to do that one time just for demonstration purposes. And I'm going to knot it off in the back. So remember, just do it 2 or 3 times just to secure it. And here I'm knotting off at the end. Pulling tight. Again, cutting our strings. I don't like to pull my string, as you see, and snap it off. I actually like to cut it. I'd rather have it like that. It's more secure for me. So here we have our pretty flower. Now that you could use on just about anything you want to decorate with. But for today's purposes, we're going to just be sticking it on the bracelet. So let's see. Just wrapping this around my wrist. Definitely have to move the button a little bit. I can move it back because it's too big. But I think we can attach the flower to there. I'm not actually going to sew it on. I'm going to pin it on for right now. So I'm just going to push a pin through here if I can get it, because this is really thick. Nope, it's not going to work. Alright, I'll just have to give it a quick tack. Now under here, before you actually place it on here, you could put a little bit of lace around it, so you have a little bit of lace trim coming around it. I have plenty of that, but it's an afterthought and I didn't bring it out. So I'm going to come through here again. I'll go through the pearl again since I only went through it once. Come out the other side. This really got nice and stiff by melting the edges. So I'm going to come through the denim and pull on that. And I'm going to tack the back. You would do that more than once so that you don't lose it. It's a little stiff. It gets a little hard. So have patience. Give it another tack. And like I said, I don't pull and snap it, I cut it off. Now if you want, you can continue to add more ribbon. Make a pretty little bow. To make a bow, make like the bunny ears like you were always taught when you were little. You loop it through. If you don't see how I'm doing it because of my nails, I'm sorry, but we all know how to make bows. Okay. I'm trying to make it nice and small and tight, so I lost my grip on it. I've made a million bows. I have children, a little girl, granddaughter, so bows are an easy thing, even with my long nails. Just want to straighten up the ribbon, so that way when there we go. See, now we're going to just pull it tight, snip the edge off, and again, with these ribbons, you want to seal the edges. Just snip a little bit more off on this one. Seal the edges. Okay. And I guess I could just glue this one on there for now, but you can hand sew that if you like, or hot glue it. My glue coming down. Now if you have Swarovski crystals or anything, you can add that to your bracelet. And we'll stick that in there. You can put, like I showed you, charms, and like I said before, if you're a young teenager or a young person and you're going to be making this flower, please let an adult make it for you. It is dangerous. You can burn yourself and you can ignite your house. And like I said, always have a glass of water, or always have water around where you can douse any flames that are contained within here. So yeah, I guess this is it for now. So like I said, here you go. Let me just button this again. And here you have your pretty bracelet. Like I said, you can decorate this as much as you want. Put more flowers, put more lace, put more dangles on it, put more rhinestones, put Swarovski crystals. Just fill it up with all your fun things. Look at all the room you have to decorate. And these are unique, individual, and personalized to your liking. I hope you've enjoyed this video. You leave me comments and questions, and like I said, you can find more activities like this on my Facebook, which is A Touch of Class.